literally.
I want to be clear, there's a difference between a mental disability and somebody who's alive.
Told me that
No, before we get too far in here, let's go back to the beginning of this. I think this is an amazing
Oh, really? Somebody let you on the bus with no money?
opener. Like, I'm going to lead with this kind of social worker refused to help women in need.
Okay.
Not just for that reasoning, but for a lot in the cruise safety standards of equipment safety. Alright, when I hear words that don't really apply to the congruency of the situation,
them that I did not have no.
They probably just felt bad for you
Yeah.
and they gave you a ride. Okay. Alright, watch yourself. I'm going to shut the door.
remember, this is just a snap of what we just saw and a little prelude to it. Remember, you'd have to walk up to this completely blindfolded or be living in the situation where you know everybody around you, and town is a normality of the born and rule.
That you have a child who is born
I don't
with a
need to be
developmental
gatekeeper or
disability.
lawkeeper around here to go, huh?
As the child grows and you become older, you're unable to care for your adult child. So what you do is you arrange for them to stay at a group home.
Military and
They'll have
policing
somebody with them
systems
24 hours a day
for
who is trained
things that really
and
can't be
able to
free.
care for them.
I'm gonna make a problem.
Now imagine
No, she was lucky enough
that
to
your
go to
child
a house
who
that
has a developmental
didn't look so bad.
disability somehow manages to get away
But
from
you don't
this
know what
group
she's
home
on the internet
because
to,
they're
who
left
she's talking to,
unsupervised.
because, well, she had enough to
And
get
they
off the
find their
base.
way to a Greyhound bus station.
She had enough to talk to whoever
They get on a
knows
bus,
security on that. It's, of
and they
course, you let them
travel
do. You let
more
she's
than
going to
2
be
hours
concerned
away
about
by bus
breeding and the
to a city that they've
foundation
never
over
been to,
there and the terracotta army
meet up with
natures of
somebody that
those
they meet
things. And
online.
of course, the limited horizons
activity
aren't the far
brings them
end
in
on those
contact with
things,
a
so they
police
jump.
officer. And that police officer calls the group home where you're supposed to be staying, and they're supposed to be taking care of you.
Hey, Master Mason that takes care
And
of
the
this
people
one,
at
I
that
got
group home tell the
questions.
police officer that they're not going to come. They tell the police officer that your child, who has a developmental disability, is an adult.
Does he
and they
just
can take
need
care
a
of
wrench
themselves,
because the pay in the
and that
system,
the
or
officer should just release them.
are we looking at some systems and
I
pay
think
and
if that was your
timelines?
child,
And I give you the
it
working
would make
number
you
of
more comfortable
graphing,
knowing
calculus, ladders,
that
and
your
rungs,
child's in the custody
general
of a police
timelines
officer
to follow, 90-day
who is
programs.
determined to make sure your child gets to where they need to be safely, and he refuses to let them out of his sight until that takes place.
Your company will make it.
That's what happens in the video you're about to see. This video is the condensed version
You were
of
doing
what
some work when
originally
it
took
come
the
down
officer
to
over 2
things
hours.
that undermined it.
I won't delay you any further.
The Egyptian red dragon.
I hope you enjoy this video,
Some chaos,
learned something.
nature, and people.
and I'll talk to you
We're
soon.
both in it. You can't have one without the other. That's how
How's
the
it
terms
going?
work.
You guys need anything?
Yeah, I need to speak with you guys.
Okay, well, I'm here by
Bagging on the
myself,
costume. This
so...
is a beautiful example.
What's up?
You really do. You wish they were all like this at least.
Let me grab my coat right here. It's cool.
Okay. What are you doing
Incident,
here?
not
What are you
person.
doing?
There's all the incidents where this, because it exposed the problem. Believe me, I went to the problem of drug and alcohol, not necessarily
So yesterday,
a housing unit or a mental health, drug and alcohol, probation, jail, how we're utilizing that time and training. I want to see somebody with the criteria and skills, because clearly it's not always perfect when somebody has those job titles. No, I don't expect this demographic when the cops show up to be that kind of demographic. That's if she's talking, she's being very strongly led because she's used to doing that. Now, the brother on the other end is going to need terms like this because that's the answer they need to be led by. Sister.
We didn't know nothing about that. So they said she's been missing for a whole week. They said we'll give your reward money if you tell us where she's at. I told her, we don't gotta give
You know,
us
turnover,
money.
they're not showing up to work for a week makes bad problems for other things, unless they straight out quit, and you know they quit.
Took her to a hospital, and they drove 4 hours to come get her.
Well, let's look at the town.
She came showing.
Why can't they get back into it? You know, what's the demographic on that guy being dozer equipment, heavy operating programs and systems, and then say,
They kicked her out.
See, I'm smart enough to understand the dollar store is the number, but I can't compete with the manager that they have there because I destabilize town. We need to start ranging that index of the worker crews, the salt crews, and it's like, well, you don't have a CDL or a fucking master's degree or associates to become a cop. And there's still the same training of somebody shaking you out. Like this new piece of, I'm sorry, but I've never worked that sub before. Always the same answer. I need a quick tutorial on it. Some of the mechanics on there obviously don't mask me out with the entirety of the book, like expect me tomorrow, getting there in the goddamn crankcase, when I didn't even know the cut series on this.
They said she's not.
And you're talking to the cop like that. I mean, it's a hard job, I could imagine. I remember being in handcuffs when they served me the warrant for the pot on my garden. You know, and I tried to explain to them, I was like, I'm not working. They're not hiring. It's a damn depression. This is Hancock, not New York City. There's a distance between A to B problem, a gas, systems, minimum wage, going over there, staying over here. The spectrums and mathematics behind this and why I couldn't use that as a resume. You could piss test me and find it clean for heroin, meth, and anything else that might be in my fucking system. But because I can't do it, now I'm disqualified for CDLs. Now I'm done. Well, alcohol stays in your system the morning after, right? But you'd still pass the breathalyzer test on standard, all hungover and crap. And like common sense in physics is totally lost on people sometimes. It's like, this is a town. This is, no offense, hon, but you're a blinky spring. She's a blinkety spring inside of here. Good indicators, good systems. No violence in here. Realistically, tried nicely, and I believe that they tried nicely. The son had mental disabilities as well, but I don't know the extremities of those things. You know, they're living in a house under the system, catching on pressure, everything from the cloud. You know, the book of the mother, the book of the father, being algebraic standards that we could use parallel to these models. It's still going to be one sheep, you know, this one walks into my town, John 14, 15, something like that. One flock, one shepherd, you know, and it would be her right here in the house, and you can tell that it's the best instance isn't to just take this in the house, but to use the systems that were provided by the standard when she is concerned. They want verification of those standards, just like this officer did. Those officers do. Well, it's just dangerous one on the far end of that. It's like, oh, she's an adult, she's on the road. No. Housing costs. What you've done here today is made some damn catter pop out of the fucking shadows inside here that would never have happened otherwise. Couldn't have happened otherwise. You want a place to stay tonight, honey? I'll take care of you. Those officers should put a bear like me down.
House.
If I were to.
Your
Key. They got it and won't give it back.
I get more out of her by referencing the king running conquest across the board like that when I say, look, she is a bunny. I'm going to capitalize on that, and you will pay me, Pharaoh.
Yeah, they said the police, they thought she was still down there. The police down there is looking for her.
Okay. Alright, well, come over and get my car. I'm going to figure out where to take you, but you can't keep coming back here.
You got to think, if you call the
Sharks,
police
man, he's just going to
yesterday
keep
because you said
popping up on you.
And this is where he has to see, you can't keep coming here. You know, that's one of the things that stay away with her. That's one thing he has.
Found that minimizer.
To stay away with her. And they even say she's been calling down to the jail trying to see when he's getting out. It doesn't matter when he's coming out because you can't be around. Because now he could get a stay away with her for you because you keep coming and he doesn't want to.
Should be a machine gun, man.
You can be arrested.
Not 4 to 5
but you need to be
across
back
the field.
home. Where do you live? What city do you live in?
And
Akron? Okay.
Appreciate y'all to watch the rest of this as if I will, because I will. I'm not just going to do what I say, not what I do. You ain't got my physics, don't do my physics. Hopefully we covered the majority of the material, and we can see where this is going pretty good, given the capstone from the first position. But I suggest you do. You'll learn a lot more along the way as well.
What's the place's name? Do you know?
Catch you on the next
I don't
one.
even know the place name.